Why the name VivHaus? The name embodies the mission of the company. Viv, inspired by life, vividness, and vibrancy, representing the lively and impactful stories they tell. House, a creative hub where ideas are nurtured and developed into visually compelling projects.
So Creative Krunch is now going to be a just a ChatGTP podcast. Okay. Hello. Wave to your cameras. We got 3 going right now.
How's it going?
Hi. So yeah, welcome to the official premiere of season 2 of our podcast, the Creative Krunch. We started this bad boy with a dream back in 2020, and it really has not gone very far. We start off each year fairly strong, and then it kind of just vanishes.
Yep.
But we've got some new things cooking.
So if anybody's wondering, like, podcasts are actually a lot more work than you think.
Yeah, they are.
You have to set up cameras. You have to set up audio.
Granted, I mean, we could just do the audio part of it and be done, and like that would actually be really, really easy, because that's actually really easy to cut. But Ben and I need to feel the need to go the extra mile. We know there's a good amount of people that watch on YouTube, which is kind of crazy too to think about. So we do go the extra step, get the 3 cameras going, and with that comes editing, audio, color grading, and just on top of everything that we've got going on, it piles up really quickly. So since 2020, when we did our first one, all the way to now, it's just been very up and down with what we want to do with this, where we want to go with this. And at the beginning of this year, we both just kind of decided that we need to just put it on the back burner for now.
We just got too busy.
Yeah, well, we worked through some other things and some new stuff.
And we're still very busy, so I don't know how we're going to have time for this. So we're going to try our best.
Busy, but less busy. We'll talk about it a little bit. But, yeah, man, 2024. What? Besides the one big thing that we'll talk about, what else happened in 2024?
2024. Well, my wife is now pregnant again for the second time. So that was one big thing. Other than that, I had a lot of weddings. 16 is still a lot to me. 15 or 16 weddings. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm moving. We're sitting on the step of the house that we're trying to get ready to sell.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little ode to your house.
Yeah.
Actually, this house is where the very first podcast was filmed.
That's true.
Right inside.
That's true. Yep.
Meatless Tacos Day.
Go back and listen to that one.
I wouldn't. If you're new here, I'd probably just start here at season 2. But yeah, 2024 been a busy year. Lots of weddings, lots of stuff going on. I got engaged. That's a big thing. I have a wedding next year. But I think the big thing we just kind of wanted to touch on is we've been toying with this idea for
years.
For a very, very, very long time. We've been toying with the idea of combining our businesses. And for the first couple of years of that idea, it was combining our wedding businesses together. And for some reason we could just never figure out quite how that would work and what we like, the direction that we want to take that. So, the big thing that happened this year is we started a new business called VivHaus, which essentially will just be a creative agency sort of thing. I mean, it's going to start out a little bit smaller since it's just going to be Ben and I, but we're kind of taking a step back from the wedding industry with this business. I think we're both planning on still doing weddings, but maybe just at a few less.
Yeah, so we still enjoy weddings. We still like the, I don't know, weddings are, I don't know, I feel like I'll always enjoy weddings, but we want to try something new, a new challenge.
I think what gets tough with weddings too is just how many that we've been doing and the constant traveling and running around and being gone every weekend and doing this and doing that. And when you do 16 in the past years, 20 and 30 of them a year, it just it starts to really catch up with you and feel a little bit of burnout. But
yeah, and I think we just want to tell stories that aren't necessarily the same. Like weddings are always about love, and I mean they're happy emotions and stuff. We want to tell more than that.
Yeah.
More types of emotions and more stories.
And don't get us wrong. I mean, each wedding is different in its own way. Different couples, different families, different traditions, different stories, you know. But essentially it is the same time. Like the same thing is happening. You're uniting in love, and it's great and it's beautiful and we love it.
I think weddings are also a live event. And so we don't really have a ton of flexibility as far as like, oh, we want to set up this situation. We can only do so much at each wedding that we couldn't do, like we could do differently at a non-wedding shoot. You know, explain. I don't know where I'm trying to go with that.
Okay. Just a full picture of it. Weddings are great. We love them. They're live events. We've done so many of them. We're going to continue to do them. Just way less per year. Like I'm taking no more than 5 to 8. I don't know what Ben's number range is going, but we started this new company, VivHaus, because we want to tell other stories. We want to flex our creative muscles in other ways. We want to shoot documentaries. We want to shoot videos for businesses that are trying to tell the story of their business, or tell the story of unique brands or personalities, or we just want to branch out past the wedding industry, because I think we would have fun with it, and I think we'd both be good at it, and we've done it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that weddings are great, like a great heirloom to hold on to, like you can show your kids, but there's more stories worth telling that are more than weddings.
Yeah. And weddings, it seems like weddings have always been like the starting spot for a lot of people. People will start in the wedding industry and then they'll kind of grow out of it. And I don't think that's necessarily what we're doing, at least not right now. Like I said, we still are planning on doing some, just not as many, but shifting some of our focus into this new business, into this new brand, and trying to grow it. I think we both have a lot of excitement behind this. And both have a lot of expectations on like what this truly could be. It's kind of hard to like, well, now that we're actually sitting down and actually having a conversation about it, it's kind of hard to say what those expectations really are.
Yeah, I think our idea, like our motto is going to be, we want to tell exciting stories with emotion, and we want to tell them in a unique way that's not just your typical promo film or business video that you'd come across. We want to tell stories in a way that stops people on their track.
Yeah, and I think the cool thing with that too is that can be for anybody. Our only parameter that I think we're following with VivHaus right now is we're not going to shoot weddings under this company. Ben's going to have Graphic Formation. I'm going to have Reed Shepherd Films. We'll still do that. So the only thing we're really Xing out from what the stories that we want to tell with this new company are weddings, just because we already have that. And like we said, we want to branch out into some other things. For few examples, we did a shoot for a brand designer, a graphic designer with Love Libby, and she told her story of how she got into it, and she told her story about some of the struggles that she has in her personal life, and how she, adapted to that and used her creativity to create a platform. And like that's the kind of stuff that we're really going after, whether that's through businesses, through maybe a family story, or through anything. And we just want to, I don't know. We just want to kind of do something a little different. And
yeah, I think we've had great success in the wedding industry, and I think we want to stretch our legs.
Yeah,
I don't know. We want to stretch our creative muscle and see how we can take I feel like when we went into the wedding industry, we used our creative. We took like the ideas behind like travel videos and vlogs, and we took that and we implemented that into the wedding industry, and we got a ton of success from it. And then we want to take new, unique ways we've shot weddings and use that in the more corporate or commercial storytelling,
corporate, documentary
in a way that people are not familiar with seeing. So we want to kind of push the boundary with commercial work, so people like see something and they're like, "Whoa, we want something like that."
Yeah.
Just to show that we have a skill more than just in weddings.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you can't tell, we're in the very, very, very early stages of this company. Like, we have a website, we have social media. We're gonna obviously work on growing that. We got some works in with like the branding and everything, but right now, I think we're at that stage. Probably one of the most exciting stages when you're starting a business as an entrepreneur. I don't know I assume most of the people that listen to our podcast are entrepreneurs, mainly probably in the wedding industry, but. I think the most exciting part is like the beginning, because you're like, what is it we want to do? Where do we want to take this? How far? What's our ideal client look like? And we're just kind of figuring that out. But in the sum of it, we just want to tell unique stories in a way that nobody else really is. So I'm trying to think like of a good example of something that we'd be like super excited. We'd be super excited to shoot anything. But we have a buddy out in Texas, and he is like, maybe I'd even say blowing up, but he's growing a ton in the documentary industry, and he's following around, like, he did this documentary over like a fly fisherman, like this hiking trail that these people have done, like just different things that
stories that haven't been told that need to be told.
Exactly.
Like they can be small stories that like you might think they're small, but they're actually impact. Like, for instance, my mother-in-law, I deeply want to tell this story, which I'm sure I'll be able to get her to sit down and do this with me some point. But she found out who her biological father was after not realizing that she had been told something completely different until in her 50s, where she found out what her biological father was. And that, I don't know where I'm going with this. Essentially, it's just a deep story, a lot of trauma and things that have turned out to be this beautiful story, which to anybody else might think, oh, this isn't significant, but really some of these small stories are pretty powerful. Or just things like the Courage Ride, the background behind where the Courage Ride started with cancer. I'd be interested to learn more about Hinterland and who started that.
Yeah, so there's just like a bunch of different stuff out there. So
maybe there's a legacy, like a family legacy. Yeah. Like there's a farm that has been passed down through family. Just, I don't know.
So another good example is this last summer. Ben mentioned Hinterland. So Ben wasn't able to go to this, but so it's a music festival here in Iowa, and I got to go and follow around this group, this group of festival goers, I think is what the word we've been throwing around, but a group that actually became good friends of mine too. And just followed them around for the week and shared their experiences, their stories, had some audio pieces, some visual pieces, and I kind of threw that all together. And what you usually see, I feel like, from music festivals or concerts is like those eye candy shots and the super crazy transitions and the cool lighting and all that stuff, which is all great. Like, that's super exciting. But we used audio in that, and we used different ways to emote a feeling of like feel like you were with this group this entire weekend, and you feel like you were part of the group, and you really got to feel the experience of like the festival from a different perspective rather than just the cool eye candy shots. And I think that's just kind of sparked a little bit of what we're wanting to do and how we're wanting to do some stuff. But like I said, super beginning stages, and we're probably just kind of talking in circles right now.
What's the meaning behind VivHaus? So Reed was the person that initially came up with, I think it started with Viv.
Yeah. So a while ago, I read the word in a book is like convivial. I didn't know what that meant. So I looked it up, and I never do that, which is weird. But I looked up the word convivial, and what it means is like lively, authentic, attractive, bright, bold, like all these different things. And that kind of sat with me for a minute, and I was like, I think I really like that. And then I came up with the idea of like Viv Creative Co. And we actually had a whole, I'm not crying, I just have something in my eye. We came up, we actually had a whole brand behind this and all this, and for some reason I didn't love the name as much. But so then we came up with VivHaus. House, it's like a German.
Yeah. So, well, first of all, house can just mean house.
Yeah, but we spell it H-A-U-S.
But yeah, so H-A-U-S, it can mean like, first of all, it can mean like a collective group of ideas or stories with a similar understanding, just a place where you can store valuable stories, valuable ideas with a collective similar mindset, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's a good way of saying
it. And Viv is just like exciting,
lively, attractive. So we took
alive.
We took what we want to do for people and for their stories and for their businesses, whether it's an ad, a commercial, or a documentary, whatever. We want to take those things and we want to make it bold. We want to make it attractive. We want to make it lively. We want to make it convivial. And so we pondered on those words, some hot keywords or whatever you'd call it. And we took that and we took Viv from the word convivial, because that's what we want our films and our videos and our ads and everything we create. We want that to represent that liveliness, that attractiveness. And then we discovered the word house, and we put VivHaus together. So all those lively, all those attractive, all those authentic and bright things that we're going to create will live at, like, will be a part of the house, H-A-U-S. And so boom, VivHaus. We just kind of stumbled upon that, like, yeah, Viv Creative Co., then the VivHaus, and I think we both kind of fell in love with that really, really quickly. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like we could do a whole another episode too.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
You scroll back to where.
I'm just gonna speak this, and you tell me how accurate it is.
Why the name VivHaus? The name embodies the mission of the company. Viv, inspired by life, vividness, and vibrancy, representing the lively and impactful stories they tell. House, a creative hub where ideas are nurtured and developed into visually compelling projects. The VivHaus vision. VivHaus is committed to helping businesses and organizations communicate their stories in meaningful ways. With a focus on cinematic quality and strategic storytelling, VivHaus turns ideas into captivating videos that leave a lasting impact. From promotional campaigns to sports highlights and everything in between, VivHaus is all about elevating your vision through video.
That was pretty detailed.
Yeah, so Creative Krunch is now going to be just a ChatGTP podcast. No, but that nailed it. And we've done so much work with ChatGPT and like putting ideas and different things about our business and what we want to be.
If you're not on ChatGPT, dude, like get on it.
Yeah, right, for real. It's a game changer. But no, that nailed it. Yeah, we're pretty much everything it said, it was like spot on. I really stick with that word, impact. Like we want to leave our mark on the stories that we tell. We want to leave an impact with the audiences that see the videos we make, with the businesses that want these videos created. And yeah, I mean, I don't know if we'll leave that whole like 4-minute segment in there.
I think just the last two things was really the better explanation of VivHaus, like the name, and then but
yeah, Viv, lively, attractive, vivacious, vibrant house, the creative hub of where stories and ideas become something. And so yeah, VivHaus. That's kind of, I mean, it's kind of, when we actually just kind of told the story, it's kind of a cool name of how it came to be. I think at first it was just like, this is a good idea, and now it's like it actually makes a lot of sense, which is good.
It kind of comes together.
But
yeah, we do have a blog too, so we've been posting blogs, which I think they've all been great. So we'll continue to post more.
So I think this podcast we'll talk a little bit about our plans for the podcast this year too. But 2025, I mean, besides our weddings and everything and all of our personal stuff or family stuff, whatever, VivHaus is going to be a priority, and we're going to try it to grow it into something that's even better than we can imagine. And we think we can do that. And we've had a lot of outside support pouring in for this idea as well. So I think we're just fired up and really excited about it, even though it probably sounds like we have no idea what we were talking about today. But
yeah, I think it's gonna be good for Creative Krunch though. So this is still gonna be Creative Krunch.
Yeah, we're leaving the name. We like Creative Krunch. I think we're still gonna do some wedding episodes because we know we have an audience, but I think this might shift a little bit towards. Is this them?
No.
This might. Sorry, we're waiting for someone to get here. Our podcast might shift a little bit towards like the entrepreneur side of things, how VivHaus is growing, what we're doing to push it. But we also want to bring on like the creative industry in general, because like we said, we're passionate about telling stories. And though this is a small platform for us, this is a cool way to do it. Like I think back to when we had Nick Langle on and he's brewing beer in literally his apartment, in his apartment closet.
Imagine if he blows up someday.
Exactly. Like that's so cool. So Creative Crunch will still be a thing, focusing on the creative things in the world.
We should do an update. We should do an update on him.
Yeah, we should bring him back on.
What are you doing? It's been 3 years or something.
I chatted with him a little bit, and it sounds like their beers are at a lot of different Sioux Falls breweries. So I think they've like turned it into something that's profitable. But shout out Travis too.
Shout out Travis. I think we do need to bring him.
We do.
I would love to ask him about his job.
Not the wedding side.
I don't even know what he does exactly, but
I don't know either. But so yeah, podcast will be still the Creative Crunch, focusing on the creatives in the world, the creative businesses, the creative persons out there, but maybe just sprinkled in with some entrepreneur stuff. Like we'll chat about what's going on with this new endeavor for us, and
things we've learned,
things we've done, and probably also still sprinkle some wedding stuff in there because, like I said, that's not going away. It's just becoming a little bit lesser of a thing that we do. So yeah. So yeah, season 2, episode 1. That was
a short one.
Yeah, I don't. Every time I say we have like this idea, like maybe we'll post twice a month or once a week, and then it just never happens. So I don't really want to say that. But the goal is to be a little bit more consistent. And I think with this new business and stuff, I think it'll be helpful for us to hop on and talk about things and get creative ideas. And like all we bring someone on, and then we're like, oh, dude, let's tell your story through VivHaus, So
absolutely,
it all connects in a way. So yeah. All right. Season 2, what are we doing? Like, are we just closing out?
Season 2?
Season 2. Season 1 was 4 years long.
Yeah. I think we just say see you later.
All right. Well, we will see you guys later. Catch you in the next one. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Might even be in 2026. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
See you next year.
Shout out Travis. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, season 2, episode 1. That was
a short one.
Yeah, I don't. Every time I say we have like this idea, like maybe we'll post twice a month or once a week, and then it just never happens. So I don't really want to say that. But the goal is to be a little bit more consistent. And I think with this new business and stuff, I think it'll be helpful for us to hop on and talk about things and get creative ideas. And like maybe we bring someone on and then we're like, oh, dude, let's tell your story through VivHaus, you know? So
Absolutely.
It all connects in a way. So, yeah. All right. Season 2, what are we doing? Like, are we just closing out?
Season 2?
Season 2. Season 1 was 4 years long.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just say see you later.
All right. Well, we will see you guys later. Catch you in the next one. Who knows what we're going to talk about? Might even be in 2026. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
see you next year.
Shout out Travis.